Hey, Alexandra. Well, we're good to see this series posted here. Excellent job, and that's the spirit of how we go out and go shooting. I liked your comments about being a seagull, and taking time out to sit and listen to the birds and listen to the water and take your dog there. That's where this whole business of shooting begins. It's deep personal time away from the other kind of normal stresses of daily life. I think that's kind of an important point I wanted to make. So anyway, this first one I love a lot. It fits the criteria of where's the focal point and where's the light, and how does that come together. And shooting with the reflections in the water from all this light out beyond here is just great. And I like the ripples. It's simple, it's clean, it's nice. I wouldn't change much. Maybe this corner over here we could darken a little bit, but it's good. This is a wonderful shot. It's hampered by the sunlight. It's another story here, but what are the elements in this shot that I really like are the movement of the water, the diagonal motion here, the light reflected in the water here from the sky, this detail and texture. And what are the parts that kind of fall apart a little bit? It's where the sun is hitting directly, blowing out the water, blowing out the rock, this edge up here. So it's kind of a truism that working in the woods oftentimes is better on a cloudy day, a rainy day, a day like this morning when it was kind of misty out, because then the light is more even, and you don't have to fight this kind of contrast like that. There's an alternative way, and that's to shoot in RAW. It's a little more advanced technique, and you need a camera that can do it. And then in Adobe Camera Raw, which is part of the Adobe suite, part of Photoshop, when you open the file, we dial back the highlights, dial back the contrast, dial back the exposure, and can start to get some control over that. But otherwise, it's a good shot. So let's keep moving. See, same problem, a lot of excessive contrast in here, and it's competing and fighting with the loveliness down in here. So take a look here. All right. I'm wondering whether I should edit this one. I would darken these rocks down a little bit and bring a little more light into here. This one I like very much. It's a little light. I'm going to bring that into Photoshop. Let's see, File New. Control V, Control E to flatten the layer down. Let me pull this in on the screen. I'm going to look at the levels right away, and we have a fairly full histogram here, so there's certainly solid blacks in here and lots of white, so I don't want to brighten the whites at all. I'm going to try my midtones to the right a little bit. About like that. And let's see, here's the before and after. It's a very subtle change. And no, there's that much more I want to do to that, so I'll pull that out of the way. But yeah, I like reflections of the sky and the lily pads and the leaves in the foreground. It's a great subject. This one's a little low contrast and a little blown out, so let's take a look at that. Copy image. Come on back here. File New. Clipboard, Create, Edit, Paste, Control V. I'm seeing a little lens flare. See how it's light in this corner? This edge, actually. I like the texture, the kelp. the little wave coming in, the detail on the sand. It's a really nice shot, but it needs some help. So let's take a look here. And I made the selection with the lasso. We feather it out. And this time I'm going to use levels and tighten up the dark tone in there. And keep working on this. Levels the whole thing. And this side, darken it down a little bit.
Just here for you. And if you do want to drop us a line, you can do that.
Feather it out. And when I'm darkening things, it's better to use brightness contrast. That's image adjustment, brightness contrast. I could feather that better. I don't like that quick fall off there, so I'm going to do another selection, mask, more feathering, image adjustment, brightness contrast. Well, I'm going to stop right there at the bottom and reselect up here.
10 o'clock, and he packs a lot of music into 1 hour, believe me. And he follows, of course, the show.
Image adjustment, brightness contrast. There we go.
Good Celtic music.
And that's really just balancing up the tones. And it's right through here is what we'll call our focal point. And same deal, let's feather that up. And go to levels, Control L. And we've got plenty of light in here already, so it's not going to take much. And let me inverse the selection. And do this a little more. There we go. Okay, now we're getting some control over it. This corner is still a little problem. Let's try that.
Celebrations are a little more muted, and maybe rightfully so. As some of our songwriters have noted
there we go.
earlier tonight, certainly. This is a father.
Okay. See, our focal point comes forward a little bit. The areas that support it are quieter. And let's take a look at the history where we began. So I did all this. So it started out like that. And here's where it ended up. Okay. If we can get you to shoot like this and learn some editing to really bring these images around, then you'll have had a successful and wonderful class here. Okay, so the editing is real important. Let me move this out. And same with this. I'm not going to take you through the whole thing, but again, I would darken up here. I would strengthen down here, darken that a little bit, using my levels and brightness contrast with feathered selections. And same with this one too. See the weak tones in here. But these are good shots compositionally, and the light and textures here, so it's just editing them for better kind of stronger image like that, okay, with rich tones, nothing blown out, nothing blocked up, focal point with light, etc., okay? So, see you on the blog.